Alright folks, about that time of day for the ferryman to take his due. That's basically what we are, right? We're literally going down a river. And the further we go, the more bodies we accumulate. If that doesn't make us a ferryman, I don't know what does. But good morning, folks. Fennec is having a bit of a sicky day today and taking a sleep. I don't know. I don't think he'll need me to ferry something on over to him, but just in case, there's a possibility that I might have to cut things early and bike out some support for him. Hopefully a nice good sleep does him good. Otherwise, we might need Shen to get involved here too. He'd be what, 100 years old by now? 120? I'm sure he'd still be available. Yesterday was full-on flashback chapter. Today, the confined room mystery will start. A flashback chapter that had some fun twists. And maybe one or two frustrating parts, one especially. I think this might... Well... Ace Attorney had a few cases where it's ambiguous which evidence would be the correct one because two are really close, but in those cases, usually... If two evidences could be used... Oh, hometown for me now. But from Apu's to mine.
这里的经历并不愉快。
新词数据就在前面。
Publishing house is right there. It's so convenient that these places are all like right next to the river. But yeah, there's been like a few frustrating things, at least in Ace Attorney. I'm standing on the art. They couldn't have those beams a separate layer. Like, if there's two ambiguous evidences that could work, oftentimes both would. But I guess in this, if they want one specific evidence, even if the other one is better, then rip, you're out of luck.
沈先生、徐先生，欢迎来金瓷书局。我是书局的督教方寒秋。
方先生好。
通过你的电报，我们获知了佩罗镇事件的原委。感谢二位查明了真相。
吕先生是一名出色的编辑，他的离世实在令人惋惜。
That was very similar to Bro's murder, and that story came from here.
你电报中提到罗世文对罗佩作品的贡献，我们也已于昨日登报说明。
这样也算对吕先生有个交代。
毕城十分看重作者名誉，希望他泉下有知。
吕先生一定会很欣慰的。
雨越下越大，二位先请进，我们屋里说。沈先生这次来是要查一本书，不知书名是什么？
我也不知道确切的书名，不过。 据罗世文说，罗佩的斗士一阵对此书的情节有所借鉴。
So something similar to the confined room mystery.
可以说是汗牛充栋。若要一份份查阅内容，耗费的时间会很长。沈先生，还知道其他的信息吗？
这件事，说不定对找书有帮助。
Lopei's visit when he came over. Lo Shiwen's accusation? Nah. Pi Cheng's work? Who's Pi Cheng again? Maybe it's Lopei's visit. Though she was saying... Manuscripts Pi Cheng handled are plentiful. Go through all of them, take a long time. Picheng isn't Pei. We just care about what Lo Pei did when he came over.
半年前，罗佩曾来书局拜访，他应该是在那个时候读到书稿的。
那次是我邀请罗佩来的，也带他去当房参观过。
Something in the archives
但我
then?
不清楚他翻阅过哪些存稿。
Doesn't narrow it down then?
说不定对找书有帮助。
What does Picheng do then?
吕先生生前的最后一段时间，都
Oh,
在
that's
忙
the
哪些工作？
editor Miss. Okay, I
有没有
forgot
与
her
存稿有关
other
的？
name.
非要说的话，碧城最近在花大力气重读过往的剧稿。
啊？已经拒绝的稿子为什么要重读呢？
此前书局并不重视侦探小说这一题材，很多的投稿都被拒了。但近年侦探小说日益受读者欢迎，碧城希望能从中发掘出更多才华横溢的作者。
也就是说，有一些优秀的侦探小说被埋没在剧稿中了。
正是如此，
As true today as it
碧
is
城
then.
认为侦探小说的流行大有裨益。它展示了一种严密的逻辑思维模式，同时也鼓励大家去追求真相。对于
Books
长
with
期受
agenda,
寡
they
不
made
文
novels
束缚的
woke.
读者而言，这犹如沙漠中的清泉。
吕先生在做的事，的确很有意义。
先生，吕先生很可能是在整理剧稿时意识到罗佩书中的点子是抄的，
Maybe.
所以他才会去找罗佩谈。
方先生，我们可以看看那些剧稿吗？
剧稿被送回当房了，我带你们去。
So to the archives we go. I wonder how long they hold these rejected manuscripts for, because they could have had a huge mountain of them if they just hold every
奇
single
怪
one.
了，碧城整理过的那批剧稿明明放在此处啊，
And now they're all gone?
怎么不见了呢？
不见了，不见了！
Parrot? Parakeet.
哦，是那只鹦鹉在说话。
夸我，
九儿乖乖，你吃完饭了吗？
完了！
沈先生，这位是当房管理员吴秀丽，九儿是他养的鹦
Does the
鹉。
parrot do the talking for her?
有什么需要帮忙的，尽可找他。秀丽，沈先生和阿福都是侦探，他们来书局调查线索，我们尽力要协助。
Nope, she could speak for
破除
herself.
案的那种侦探，
Oh, she's smitten already.
正是。
好猎奇，好喜欢。这还是我第一次遇到真的活的侦探。活的。嘿，其实我也是一名侦探小说家，笔名叫阿派。
哇，
Is she also
好厉害啊。
harvesting stories from the
能
rejected
买到你写的
archives?
书吗？
哎，我还在构思中。哎，你别说，就咱们对话的时间，我忽然就有了灵感。侦探来到书局当房，寻找失落的线索，摆在面前的却是成堆的书
I
稿。
wonder where she got this idea
要
from.
从里面
She's
找
so
到
she's so
关键证
clever.
据，这是前所未有的挑战。
你这不是根本没开始写吗？
吕先生曾整理过一批侦探小说的剧稿，秀丽姑娘可知放在何处？
当房目前还没有侦探小说这个单独的分类，
So all the rejects
只
are
有
together?
盗版小说、志怪小说、公案小说、武侠小说、言情小说。那些剧稿原本杂乱地堆放在这张桌子上，不过我花费了整整2天时间，把每一份书稿都有序归档了。
Into every separate category. I mean, the books are still here. They're just sorted.
大家的脸色好像不太好。
那 沈先生想要查阅的话，只能去每个书架上一本一本找了。
完了，完了！
无妨，阿福，我们就从最左侧的书架找起吧。
2 weeks later. They're just standing there. Just going all the... It's been several full days now. Oh, look at him, so cute. This is just our life now. We're going through the entire archives.
这摞也翻完了，我再去拿一摞。
So, is this when we find a body?
炒饭、油糕、牛皮糖，先生醒醒，来吃啊！
He's so cute. I don't think I recognize that person. Taking stuttery steps to see if I can look at anything else. Walking slowly now. Being all cinematic. Is there a body? Oh, are we doing a dream thing if this is looping? Because the books are back in place. And the books all being sorted again. The confined room mystery. You're dreaming, man. Wake up. Is this going to be a chapter when there is no actual murder and just this once everybody lives because I'm dreaming? Is it Grey's Anatomy? Is it Die Traum der Tongue? Is it Quentin Duad? No, it's the big red one. Is it me as a kid?
是哥哥，仲平，
Oh.
你又拿了爹的烟枪。
在哪里？
Yeah, it is me as a kid.
在哪里？在哪里？
Oh, Dad was on the opium
书
too.
生，我去应付。爹，你在找什么？
我钱呢？
Oh man, no wonder the family fell apart then.
家里早就没钱了，东西也被你变卖光了。
谁说没钱了？那个小兔崽子去哪儿了？
I'm the little
丽云的
rascal.
孔老板，过几天就来接他。
He's selling me to the
只
theater?
要他听话，跟男人去，那可是
He
不
actually
少
is
钱。
selling me to the theater.
你疯了！
养了你们那么多年，也该尽孝了。
I see now why they hate Dad of the present.
原来躲在这里。
But it sounds like they had a nice family life before the opium took him. Oh my goodness. Run, kid, run! Don't trip on that rock. What did I just say? Oh, I could jump. I could jump. Okay. I'm not gonna count that as game over because this isn't exactly a murder mystery part. Wee. Oh, it's not jump, it's go up or down. Just wiggling on after me. Why am I holding forward? Forward isn't even in the controls. It's like an endless runner. I just go up or down. Escaped the nightmare. Oh. And then Dad got murdered. Was I the suspect because I was holding the pipe? Because he's a bit bloodied up. That's not just he fell down and collapsed. Or had a heart attack or anything. That's his head all bloodied up too.
我可以进来吗，郑平？不让我进来的话，我只好变戏法给别人看喽。
哦，嗯，
你先
He's
闭上
so
眼睛。
easy. Magic trick? Alright, I'll forget about Dad's giant head chasing me until he was dead.
喜欢吗？
Oh, the Big
这是
Dipper.
银石粉，可以在黑暗中
Pointing
发
out
出
to the
荧
big
光。
star.
郑平啊，你听过小猴子的故事吗？一天晚上，一只小猴子在水塘边玩耍，它看到了水中的月亮，便伸手去触碰，水面泛起了涟漪，月亮在涟漪中消失了。小猴子很震惊，以为自己把月亮打碎了，其实那只是月亮在水中的倒影。
So Dad's not really dead, just his
是
reflection.
因为它被云遮住了。
Oh,
郑平，
the poor monkey's got his
那件
worldview
事
shattered.
自始至终都不是你的错。即使乌云遮蔽了整个天空，你还拥有一片自己的星空。郑平，哥哥最近找到一个方法，说不定能治好你的失语症。
Aphasia. Which one's aphasia? Aphasia. Language disorder caused by damage in a specific area of the brain that controls language expression and comprehension. Leaves a person unable to communicate effectively with others. Many people have aphasia as a result of stroke. Huh. Can impact your speech as well as the way you write, and so on and so on. Changes in memory, attention, precise develop, and movement or swallowing may become affected. As with other frontotemporal dementias, the long-term prognosis is limited. Typical life expectancy from the onset of the disease is 3 to 12 years. I suspect that Shen got cured.
我看到一本医学杂志上说，人遭遇过度惊吓时，舌头可能会后缩，导致舌骨脱位，无法说话。
So he's not actually aphasia then. He's just more mute or doesn't communicate, yeah? He's been super scared, and he basically had what Afu had, where his hyoid got dislocated.
若用镊子将舌骨正位，便可恢复。
So basically, we did for Afu what our big brother did for us.
我知道，那些大夫都说你再也不可能说话了，但哥哥不会放弃。可以让我试试吗？ 双平，你尽可能张大嘴巴，再慢慢把舌头往外吐。
啊，
很好。
哥哥，疼！
He could speak again.
无意识的痛苦回忆，如果无法释放或治愈，可能会分裂出不同的自我，以避免面对内心矛盾。
Different selves to avoid
这是人出于自我保护
confrontations.
的本能所构建的心理防御机制之一。
哥哥，你在看什么书？
哦，弗洛伊德的《梦的解析》这本书介绍了心理疾病的发病原理和治疗方法。
心理疾病？
Sigmund Freud unlocked, Austrian psychologist, founder of psychoanalysis.
我想了解鸦片成瘾的心理原因，进而探索出治疗之法。
难怪哥哥最近都在看医学书籍。
如今鸦片泛滥，不仅我们家深受其害，更有千万家庭尚在苦海。
可市面上不是已经有戒烟药了吗？
市面上的戒烟药大多是鱼目混珠的补药，价格昂贵，却收效甚微。
因此，
Orlo she
哥
went.
哥想找到真正有效的治疗法。
我在弗洛伊德的一篇文章中了解到一种叫高科的植物。弗洛伊德用
What
它
a
的
load
提
of
取物
crock, am I
来
right?
治疗抑郁症等疾病。如果这个药能帮助戒烟瘾，那爹的悲剧便不会再重演了。
I think it's too late for Dad. I think Dad's death is way behind us. Thankfully, it didn't seem to be taken as a murder,
哥哥，
just as a
还要
tragic
等到什
opium
么
death.
时候啊？钓鱼好无聊。
He finds fishing boring.
抓狗了，
哥哥，别让鱼儿跑了。
鱼儿抓口时不着急提干，耐心等一等，
Just like a
大鱼上钩
detective
时
pulling in the
会有
suspect.
明显的异常。
是一条桂鱼。
回家，今晚哥哥做清蒸桂鱼。
太好了，有鱼吃喽！
俄国的北部毗邻北极，终年积雪。
每天都是冬天，也
I
太冷
appreciate
了。
that the map is Pacific
有
centric,
没有
but they
永
kind
远
of
是夏
squish
天
it
的地
in.
方？
阿非利加州的以南地当赤道，沿河荒漏。
Looks like they got like Australia right next to South America. I don't really see room for any of the rest of us in there.
哥哥，你要去学医的地方在哪里？
在这儿，英国的首都，伦敦。
I feel like this is an end of game, but getting close to it. Like probably the start
两
of
位
the
公子
third
的
act
才华
after going through
世间
this.
罕见，尤其是沈二公子，年纪轻轻就获得了公派留学资格。今日
Younger Shen
为
got the
二位
scholarship
留
program.
影
Yeah,
纪
we were
念，
there abroad too.
待二位学成归来，定能大展宏图，大显身手，大有所为。本照相馆也能跟着沾光。放松，不要动喽。
30 minutes of posing later. Happy music is gone. And then murder, right? And then the murder.
哥哥，究竟是谁害了你？
Are we going to get a little bit of the flashback to the past? Because we didn't solve the case in the past, so we can't solve it right now. That's gotta be the culminating thing. We get all the clues, we hone our detective skills, we put everything together, and then we go down to Shanghai to confront Joseph Iscariot Bell directly.
这是你第几次回到这里了？
我没数过，第1121次。
3年， 几乎每个夜晚你都在这里，但你仍然找不到答案。而随着时间的流逝，你的记忆正在消退。
别妨碍我，我一定会查明哥哥遇害的真相。
那你可得抓紧时间了。
Doors all broke. Curtain was sealed. And the body is in front of the left curtain, so the hotel across definitely could not have seen it. Hotel, restaurant, the restaurant across. Memory isn't pleasant. Do I want to proceed? Is it just to repeat it? Thick layer of dust, no trace of being touched. So skylight probably not used then? I've been pointing towards the corner of the desk, yeah? Used on the day of the murder. And the telegraph was talking about a new drug, right? Morse code. From Joseph's father. Development of a certain drug. I think that's very suspicious. Did we look under the stool, though? What about the door B? Can I not go through the door B? Oh, that's the police office itself. Yeah, let's advance to the police office.
This is all the case files here. You can take your time reviewing here. I'll go get the paperwork ready for your signature.
Case files, appendices, Morse code, paper disc, murder weapon, a key. I want the map first. Got newspapers, bookshelves, and that's it. Okay, so where would Li Bu's grave be? So Auntie Cheng's house is in Area A. That's in Westminster? Deadly St. Mary Hospital fire claims lives of 20 patients. Aww. Is that gonna be related? If it's evidence. So it's mostly all a bunch of junk. Since the ones with information clearly haven't led to his arrest, and the ones claiming to be him are probably hoaxes. Because gloves don't exist. Difficult, but not impossible. So in the dream, we saw the dagger fall from the sky, right? And there's 2 rivets in some candles. In the candles. What if there was like a string or something that was tied between 2 candles for leverage, and then up to the sky hook to hold the dagger? And this is a lighter dagger, so it wouldn't pull the candles out of their wax. Cricket survey. My survey answer is quit spamming my DMs. The string was probably burnt. That's probably where the scorch marks come in from. Optimism needed, assistance offered anytime, stay positive. S13. Five telegrams. 2 weeks before the incident, starting from adjusted medication, prove it effective in small trials. Congrats, not your fault. When you blame yourself, drug development challenging path, keep going, believe success awaits. Optimism needed, assistance offered anytime, read that one. Understand concerns, office meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. He was silenced before that meeting, if it was that day. Case file, query transcript. Mr. Bell interrogated too.
Officer, I am a distinguished graduate of UCL. How could I possibly commit murder?
Yeah, graduates of University City London would not possibly commit murder.
There's competition between ye and the victim, Brian Shen. Besides, you were the last one to see him before Brian returned to the apartment.
I did see him, but you can't condemn me as guilty just because I saw him, right?
That's where you're being interrogated.
Whether
You're a
you're
suspect,
deemed
not the
guilty
killer.
depends on your answers to the following questions. On the day of Brian's death, August 15th, someone claims to have seen you two arguing.
We had no
I
argument.
like this voice
It
acting.
must be someone trying to smear my name. I can explain that. At 9 a.m. that morning, I was going to the Wandsworth Library to borrow books, passing by Pimlico. I saw Brian coming out of Mr. Bell's office building. I greeted him, but he pretended not to hear. I was angry. I grabbed him to confront and discuss the situation.
Just because you greeted him and he did not respond?
No, it's all the
Not
building up stuff too.
exactly. Mr. Bell's research project should be mine.
Oh, he's digging
He
himself
stole it
deeper.
away.
Digging himself deeper. He's got
He not
motive.
only shamelessly took my project, but also deliberately ignored me. Wasn't that infuriating?
So you got into an argument with him over that?
I didn't. He seemed absent-minded, not responding as if he couldn't hear what I was saying. Later, someone looked our way, so I let him go. There was no argument at all.
That sounds like an argument
Whether
to
you're
me.
deemed guilty depends on your answers to the Where were you between 1 and 3 in the afternoon that day? And what were you doing?
I spent the entire afternoon studying at the library, then returned to the lab in the evening.
Is there someone who can vouch for your whereabouts?
The librarian named George can testify for me.
Whether you're deemed guilty depends on... You ken of others who might bear a grudge against Brian?
I wouldn't know. I'm usually focused on my academic pursuits and don't mind others' business.
Mr. Chang, please cooperate with our work.
I really don't know. Only one time I overheard him having a heated argument with Stone Wu.
What's the relationship between Stone Wu and Brian Shen? Do you ken why they had an argument?
They are friends. Stone often borrowed money from Brian. Their argument might be related to money, but I'm not so sure about specifics.
So you don't know.
But I heard Stone recently made a fortune. Moreover, he hurriedly returned to China the day before Brian's incident. Definitely fishy.
Yeah, well,
We'll
Joseph
verify.
went to China soon afterwards.
Whether
That's even
you're deemed
fishier.
Guilty depends on your answers to the...
I want to save Joseph's dad for last.
Let bad guys go. Bother this old lady instead.
Mrs. Chang, I brought you in for questioning because on that day you were...
Only one at scene? Suspect me as murderer just like that? I am
Suspect
fool and
as,
murder
not
in their
charged
own
as. It's just a
home.
witness.
Mrs. Chang, if you...
Ridiculous! Dare you stop brewing my medicine, curing illness, extending life?
I'll try to keep it brief. Where were you between 1 and 3 in the afternoon on that day?
Sitting outside. We all saw in the flashback of the
You ask where
flashback.
I was? It was Hungry Ghost Festival. Taboo to go out that day. Soak up sun, dispel bad energy. Been sitting in front of the house sunning myself. You foreigners understand or not? On that day, Ghost Gate opens. Avoid going out.
But she was
I'll
outside. She just
try
said
to
she was
keep it
outside.
brief. During that time, did anyone else enter...
Of course not. No one comes in without my permission. No one's getting in any day. Besides you police, who else likes barging into others' homes?
Did anyone else think you might have...
Yes, 2 guys tracking Brian. They've been staring at my house.
Aye, we've spoken to folk across the road, and nobody's laid eyes on the pair you mentioned.
Really?
James and Mary from the cafe next door said the same. Are you?
I'm sure I didn't see wrong.
I'll try to keep it brief.
I mean, maybe they just didn't think they were unusual. Like, obviously, there would have been people outside. It's a busy London street. They could have blended in just well enough. That others don't think it's suspicious that these guys are around, hanging around. But she clearly saw them following him before doing their lingering malingering. Okay, Bell, what secrets have you got?
Mr. Bell, sorry for the trouble.
After all, Brian was a researcher in the project I funded and a friend of Joseph's. I will do everything I can to bring the truth to light.
Heard this funding project is about opium cessation drugs?
And that's why he had to die.
Opium cessation medication is one of Watson Pharmacy's core businesses. We have always placed a strong emphasis on research and development in this area. In fact, the person we initially funded wasn't Brian, but his classmate, Toby Chang.
I think that a drama of this size would be too simple if it was really Toby Chang who murdered Brian out of jealousy for having the project stolen. Given the greater geopolitical conflicts that have been present to this game, I think that perhaps Watson's pharmaceutical company isn't all too interested in curing opium. Much in the same way that the big issue with GMOs isn't, oh no, it's Frankenfoods, but rather that it's not curing the reasons why people are not allowed to grow their own food, and instead just sells them more product to grow for export, or even for their own consumption, just sells them more product in which they gotta buy into the copyrighted seed with a specific suite of fertilizers and materials necessary to maintain that. It's all a very expensive subscription. So instead of curing the problem, he's doing as the current placebo anti-opium medicines people are taking and kind of strings them along. And so they're making money off the opium being sold and making money off an ineffective cure. And perhaps Brian found something way too effective.
Unfortunately, Toby had lofty ambitions, but little progress after 6 months.
I think most of the sus lies on Joseph, though, because his name is literally Iscariot. He's literally Judas, J. Iscariot, and he's suspicious as heck. I think he's got reasons of his own that might relate to wanting to boost London's economic interest in China. We'll have to see more of Joseph and the rest.
Joseph introduced me to Brian. He was facing pressure from the Sassoon family due to his research. The Sassoons benefit greatly from the opium trade. They will by no means stand idly by. When I saw his research program...
So there is some interest in not ending the opium crisis just yet. Of Iraqi Jewish heritage. 1833, British Parliament abolished the East India Company's monopoly on trade with China. Sassoon family took this opportunity to port large quantity of cotton textiles and opium into China. Half the opium seeds came from the Sassoon.
It only strengthened my determination to support him. Also, the reason Brian studied pharmacy and aspired to develop better opium cessation medication was because his family was ruined and devastated by opium. I believe he is the most suitable person to carry out this research. I will do everything I can to bring the truth to light.
Someone hear you having an argument with Brian in the office on the morning of August 15th?
Their 9 a.m. meeting?
At 9 a.m. that morning, I had arranged to meet Brian for coffee to talk his recent conditions.
How's she been faring recently?
The research faced some difficulties, and Brian was feeling quite down about it. I encouraged him to hold on, but he suddenly became very agitated. So we ended the conversation.
Maybe he was getting outside pressure from elsewhere.
Like his
the people following him.
I intended to talk to him someday later, but...
How long has he been in this condition?
What if he was taking opium himself? To make himself a guinea pig, right? Like he tries a bit, and then he takes some of his own tinctures, He tries a bit, he takes some reagents.
In fact, during that period, his condition was quite worrisome. He became very
Or he's just super stressed out. Maybe being super stressed out
In
about
hindsight, I should have kept him a bit longer. I deeply regret that now.
I don't think Brian turned to the opium himself.
I will do everything I can to bring the truth
Maybe
to
smokes, but like, with the way his family was destroyed, there is no way that the pressure would turn him to it.
Where were you between 1 and 3 in the afternoon on that day?
There was a pharmaceutical industry seminar that afternoon. I was invited to deliver a speech.
Understood. Your alibi is solid. For now, that's all.
Officer, may I add a few more details?
Were they given to you by your son?
Of course. Please go ahead.
Brian's research on opium cessation medication touched upon the interests of certain groups.
Certain groups who don't want to be drugged out?
I don't want this case to be overly influenced by external factors affecting police judgment. I also trust that the details of the case be kept confidential.
Aye.
Oh,
I will do everything I can to bring the truth to light.
So they've all got solid alibis. I don't think it was them anyway. My heaviest sus is on Joseph, of course. He's telling me about his weird literal fever dream. Confirmed he was there. Yeah, they've all got alibis. Stone Wu was in China at the time, right? So there's no way that he could have come over the day before Brian's death. Maybe he was also threatened. Or maybe the departure record was fabricated. Do you understand? Zongwan Festival. Ghost Gates is open. Just woke up from odd NyQuil dream. Saw this. What? So that's everything here then. We got all the appendices. No, we didn't. We got the query transcript but not the other details. What I'm thinking now, knowing that the dagger was super light and there were scorch marks on the ring of the dagger and on the skylight and 2 lines on the candles, I think it was set up. The door on the close-up looked like it could be locked from the inside, but if the key is difficult to fabricate or duplicate, difficult doesn't mean impossible. I think perhaps that he was posed there, and then ropes tied to the candles that are waxed to the floor, and then to the latch on the ceiling, with a lightweight dagger tied to it, so that it's light enough that it won't pull the rope or pull the candles off their wax. And then burn, 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 rope falls down, dagger falls down. I think if the dagger was too light, it probably wouldn't penetrate, just bounce off, but it clearly did penetrate. St. Mary's Hospital and Ceviche Restaurant. Oh, why is that not loading? Why is the 5G not working on my phone? I'd actually check on here. Hungry, nothing sounds good though. This could be a chat. Photo of the crime scene and layout. What it says recall the situation means going all the way back to, doesn't it? Yeah. Back to the police office. Not the appendices. Victim details. Personally conducted by Joseph. I don't trust Joseph. General opisthotonus. Bruises on all fingertips, on both hands, wood shaves, nail folds. Because he was clawing. He was clawing at the chair. Maybe he was tied down. Maybe he was still alive and clawing at the chair while Joseph set things up. Recently healed wound on the dorsum of the right foot. That's what they thought. It was tetanus. No strychnine found. Ashes found on the body. Wax chips found on clothes. Wax drips. No abnormalities. Offensive wounds. Stab to left pulmonary artery. Extensive internal bleeding. Sudden cardiac arrest and subsequent death. Two and 3 in the afternoon. Paper ashes. There was probably a Morse code strip that was wrapped around the candles and used. And it's that burning Morse code strip that contributed to the scorch marks and the ashes.
Master Shen, this here is Sergeant Gaunt, in charge of investigating your brother's case.
Family of the deceased. The investigation into this case is done and dusted. Sign here.
Sergeant Gaunt, I can't sign it yet.
What you say?
Me with the property management.
My brother won't kill himself.
You questioning the police, are you?
Yes.
No. I just feel that.
Mr. Shen, we hold your brother's case in the highest regard. Very seriously.
He want to say, I do want something, but wrote, I do want somebody.
Suicide is the conclusion reached after meticulous investigation. and careful consideration. Whether it's Joseph or the more experienced Sergeant Gaunt, both are on board with this conclusion.
Slide messages don't work too well when I've had NyQuil.
Ain't you here to collect the remains? No signature, no go with the rest of the bleeding paperwork.
So you gotta sign off if you want your brother back.
哥哥绝不会自杀。可是
He wants curry. My
如果我签署
speciality.
了这份文件，就意味着这个案子尘埃落定了。我不能就这样轻易签字。哥哥，你到底经历了什么？
Is this when his other self awakens?
似乎什么地方不对劲。
Mr. Shen, are you feeling unwell?
A voice tells me that there is an inconsistency between a certain item I saw earlier and the documents in my hands.
So he wants me to make him curry and the orange mineral water from grocery outlet. Okay, the inconsistency. The inconsistency will have to wait because some sick boy wants my speciality and to pick up some orange drink for him. So even though we could have had all day to solve this mystery, I'm gonna sneak on off and make some curry for the man that I love, alright? Sound good to us all? It's a shame that it pauses when I alt-tab out, because it doesn't always do that. Yesterday it didn't. Oh well. Time to make some curry. We'll finish this tomorrow.